So you want to make a comic and you have no idea where to begin? I'll break down the 3 most important aspects to starting and creating a comic, the third being the most vital. Hi, I'm David. Here at Rewind Replay, we made a comic. We want to share with you all the things we learned the hard way, so you don't have to. So where do you begin when you don't know where to start? Let's start with the foundation. And the foundation to any endeavor that is creative is your mindset. If you don't have the right mindset, you may start and never finish. You may not complete everything that you wanted to do because you let two important aspects get in the way when it comes to mindset. The 2 biggest ones being fear and procrastination. So there's a fear of inadequacy. This is the fear that I'm talking about. This fear that whatever I create, people won't like. I'm no good. It comes down to that mindset of this is who I am rather than this is what I'm doing. And I think this is a very unhelpful mindset. So how do we overcome this? Well, we need to think of it differently. We need to change our mindset. We have to think, you know what? I'm on a journey. I'm not quite there yet, but I am getting better. So I can put my art out there. I can put out the things that I'm doing, knowing that I am improving. The other part of this is we actually have to think about the fact that, you know what? People are going to critique our work, and that's okay because it is a place that we're headed. And when I think about that, I actually think about the idea that we are actually on a journey, but we're becoming something. So we got to think about it how we're becoming. We're not yet professional writers. Is that correct? We're not yet professional comic creators, but we want to be that in the future. So if we look towards that, I think that's how we're going to get where we want to go. So the fear of inadequacy is very, very strong, but I think it can be overcome if we just change our mindset. So the second fear, the fear of procrastination. It's not really a fear, it's just a mindset, I guess. Procrastination is one of those things where you sit down to do something and in your mind all of a sudden pops in your head, wait, I have to do something else. I've got cleaning to do. I've got other projects I want to get done. Hey, you know what? That toilet hasn't been cleaned for a week. I better get doing that. Things like that are what procrastination lives off. Now, we have to change our mindset on that. When you come down and sit down and say, all right, I'm doing this for 20 minutes, I'm going to write. You need to put all those things out. If they come into your mind, sit down, have a note and pad next to you, write it down. Be like, you know what? I'll get to that later. I'm focusing on this. And you just need to get going. So procrastination is always there. It was always at the door knocking saying, hey, you got something better to do. But you got to remember, that's not the way it works. You need to sit down and you need to actually get those things going. All right, so we've done our foundation. Where do we go next? Well, I think the next step is actually what we're writing. When I think about that, you might have a 120-page story, this epic novel involved in your mind. It's like, I want to get this done. But I would say, work on that in the background. But for now, if you're just beginning, start small. Short stories in the form of anthologies. So what is an anthology? An anthology is a collection of short stories, generally 1 to 10 pages. Some of them are in different genres, depending on the anthology you go with. But we'll break that down more in a different video. For now, I want to talk about what's the importance of anthologies. The idea of an anthology story or a short story is the fact that you get to learn how to create a story from beginning, add the middle, and then have the ending. If you learn to do all that really well, you'll be so much better off. Like the idea of either taking that one perfect photo or 1,000 photos. Who's going to be better? Really, the person that's going to be better is a person who takes 1,000 photos. They will hone their craft. And that's what I really want to focus on here, is the idea of honing that craft. If we learn to write short stories, you won't just go, okay, I'm going to write my first issue of my first novel, and you will do that, and you will write that first issue 20 pages, and you'll rewrite it and rewrite it. You'll get really good at hooks. You'll get really good at beginning a story, but you will get no much better at the middle and the ending. You think of the middle build, that is so important. And then the payoff is so very important. So if we start by writing short stories, if you're going to write 120 pages, why not write 12 or 20 different stories rather than just one long story? You're going to get so much better. And then the next part I want to talk about is condensing both of those things into one, the most vital of them all, and that is the editing and critiquing. Sorry, I lost my train of thought right there, but editing and critiquing. This is the most vital of them all, because how do you get better? Well, you need to sit and write, 100%. But you will write and you'll think, hey, this is really, really good. But when someone else looks at it, they might go, hey, I saw a flaw here. This doesn't quite work. What about this and this and this? And this is where the first two that I talked about come into play. If you can really have the right mindset when having your work edited and critiqued and say, you know what? It's not that I'm no good, but I'm on that journey. I'm moving towards this person, and these people that are giving me very helpful tips, I need to take them on board and get better as a writer. These are the things that you need to do. If you start small, you will get better. If you can have each and every story that you're making be edited and critiqued, you're going to get better at the beginning, the middle, and the end. So when I think about editing in this context, if you can write 12 stories in all these different genres with all these different characters, how much better are you going to be at that? You're going to be so much better. When it comes to being critiqued, if you can find a group of people around you that are really good at stories and understand stories, you can get them to look at your work, and maybe you can look at their work as well and find the flaws and find the things that you're improving on. You'll just get better as you go. So that's it for me here. I hope you come along the journey. I want to build up everything that we're doing here at Rewind Replay and show you what we're learning. So I thought in this series, let's go from beginning to the very end of completion of a story in the form of a comic book. So if you stick with us, hopefully you'll get something out of each and every video. The next video that I want to look at is breaking down anthologies. So I hope to see you there.